In an administration, at least I can speak from personal experience, because I am in one, and it's not the first time that I'm in one. I was in an administration around the year 2019 to 2021, and it was pretty much the same experience. Not to say that there are not other environments where INFJs are likely to encounter a great deal of frustration, but I'm starting to get the sense that working in administration really takes the cake. Two reasons immediately come to mind. There's probably more than these, but I would say number one is the absence of a long-term vision. Administrations are usually these huge, amorphous, blobby things that are such that you're sort of lost as a little cog in the machine, and you're doing your thing, but you have no like long-term vision. Maybe I'd say even like an INFJ who was like hyper nationalistic for some reason wouldn't necessarily feel, oh, I'm a civil servant, I'm working for my nation. I think that you're too distanced from that particular context when you're in the midst of your job being a cog in the machine. And the other immediately striking factor is that you're going to encounter a lot of high SI users, because these types actually do fairly well within administrations. High SI users and high TE users do fairly well in administrations. So you're going to encounter a lot of those. High FE users as well, by the way. High JE in general, but also high SI. These are like fish in the sea. And so you're thrown into a realm that you feel like you don't like, doesn't really speak your language, and at the same time you don't stand out, not in the sense that you want to stand out in front of other people, but INFJs, like everybody else, they feel good when they're good at something, when they excel at something that they enjoy doing. And it's particularly important for INFJs to enjoy the thing that they're doing. It's funny because there is a word that always comes to mind, when you're working in an administration. It happens in many other areas, the private sector as well, but it's a word that I hear all the time. It's true in the Francophone world, but it's also true in the Anglophone world, is, to be very professional. Oh, this person is very professional. You have to be very professional. Oh, don't say this or don't take this particular position because you have to be professional. He's a good, respectable professional. I recommend it. In a sense, what if behind this word professional is a thought along the lines of, this person is able to repress their passions, what they're really trying to follow in terms of their vision, in terms of where they want to go in life, what makes them take, what makes them dream, what makes them really excited. They're able to repress that in the name of this impersonal idea of serving an administration. That's being professional. That's not going to resonate with INFJs, and in some sense then the INFJ is going to internally think, oh, I must be very unprofessional then. I mean, I'm laughing at this, but this can actually kind of start blending with thoughts of lower self-esteem, because you can feel a bit of shame or embarrassment at this idea that you don't resonate with the definition of being professional, which is obviously seen as a widespread virtue in these particular contexts. So all in all, I would say working in administration can have only one positive aspect, and I use positive between inverted commas, and that's the fact that if you're a little bit lucky, you can end up in an administration where you're not overworked and you get quite a lot of holidays. That can happen certainly in French administrations and probably Southern European administrations where the culture is still there. So in a sense, you're sort of taking a job to have a regular salary, bring food to the table, pay your rent, and it leaves you time aside to engage in your more private activities or personal activities. The irony being that it's not by choice that they are private and on the side. You'd like to make them the core of what you're doing, but maybe it's not remunerative enough, so you don't have the financial security to keep going in life. That's a shame, but in a way, maybe you could strike a compromise where you take a job in an administration, but you're able to still dedicate time to what really makes you, in French we have this word, to make you vibrate, which sounds kind of weirdly sexual, but I wanted to share it with you. Makes you vibrate means like it makes you kind of, makes you salivate at the thought of what you might just be capable of doing, and give you energy to do things you might not normally like, or chores, because you're kind of dedicated to this long-term vision. I think this is absolutely crucial to INFJ well-being. and I probably will explore this topic more in the future. But these were my thoughts here. I would like to think, that you have thoughts to share. So please share them with me. Have you worked in administration? Do you work in administration? What is your experience as an INFJ or as someone who's not an INFJ? I want to know everything. Let's interact in the comment section. By the way, don't forget that I have written 2 books on the INFJ personality. I am describing myself as an expert on the INFJ personality. I think that I was kind of embarrassed to describe myself as that for many years, but now it's been a long time and I've written books and they're well reviewed. So the Ecstatic Soul, which looks more at the content of the INFJ consciousness and the existential manifestations of it. So it's really to have a really deep, profound understanding of the INFJ type. You can get the Ecstatic Soul. In my recent book, The Infinite Soul, this is more about the outside, bringing your consciousness into the outside world, the modern epoch, which is often considered hostile, and how to find meaning, purpose, and value, right? If you are interested, all the links are below. This book needs reviews to get better referencing on Amazon. So if you loved the book or liked it, please consider taking a minute to drop a review on Amazon. That would be so helpful. Thank you so much. I also have a Patreon page. So to keep the channel going, because I need some support, and there's people who have joined recently, been very generous. So if you want to click the Patreon link there, you can support me from €3 a month, and you can interact with me and get access to bonus content. Consider it, please. Okay, see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.